So a question that's going to come up a lot between now and the release of Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is which starter Pokemon should you choose upon release, and with the announcement of brand new Mega Evolutions, this makes the choice of starter Pokemon a lot more difficult this time round. Almost everyone has had an opportunity to use the Mega Evolution of Blaziken, most likely making it the least popular starter choice this time round, as a lot of people will want to use a Mega Evolution that wasn't used in Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. So, today, I'll be breaking down each final evolution of each starter Pokemon, along with their Mega Evolution forms, analysing what I predict their stats to be, and how useful they will be in the main story of the game against each gym, as well as the competitive battling side of things. In the comments below, let me know what starter Pokemon you are going to pick, as well as your favourite Mega Evolution form. Anyway, let's jump straight into this. We're going to begin with Sapphire, the final evolution of Trico, and before receiving its Mega Evolution form, it was a pure Grass type Pokemon weak to 5 types, Flying, Poison, Bug, Fire and Ice. It had type advantages against 2 of the 3 early gyms, and had a type advantage against 3 gyms in total, and doesn't fare too well against the Elite Four and Champion. In its regular and Mega Evolved state, it has the ability Overgrow, or the hidden ability Unburden. Both not entirely too useful in the main story of the game, however, Unburden can be particularly useful in competitive battling, enabling you to set up fairly easily. In terms of base statistics, Sapphire is a Pokemon that is used very offensively, with incredible speed as well as great physical and special offenses, making it a particularly threatening Pokemon in the main story of the game, being able to sweep through enemy teams. In a water-based region, Sapphire can be very useful, especially earlier on in the game. Once it receives its Mega Evolution, it gains a brand new type, Dragon. However, it becomes weak to 6 types. It loses its weakness to Fire, however it is now weak to Dragon and Fairy too, and has 4 times weakness to Ice. It also trades its ability for Lightning Rod, an ability that draws in all electric type moves to boost its special attack. You might be asking yourself why this is good for a Pokemon that resists electric type attacks by 4 times, so I'll explain why. Lightning Rod means the Sapphire can fully take advantage of its amazing speed by never getting paralysed by electric type attacks, boosting its special attack in the process. Be warned that Mega Sapphire can still be paralysed however by the attack Glare. Lightning Rod also makes it an absolutely fantastic Pokemon to pair up with water Pokemon in double battles, and seeing as how this is a return to Hoenn, double battles will be sure to feature heavily in its region of origin. Due to its ability, I predict Mega Sapphire will be receiving a heavy increase to its special attack, fitting in with Lightning Rod, increasing its special attack if it gets hit by an electric type attack, as well as small boosts to its speed, physical attack and physical defense, rounding off to make it an absolutely amazing offensive Pokemon. Despite its weaknesses, Mega Sapphire will most likely be a huge threat both in the main story and in competitive battles. In game, I predict it will be the middle of the road choice, and in competitive battles it may be weak to 1 too many types to fare incredibly well, but I think it will still be a fantastic Pokemon to use. Please note, all of these starter Pokemon will be just fine in the main story. That's how they're designed, to help novice players get through the game without struggling. Next up is a Pokemon that probably needs no introduction, as it and its Mega Evolutions are featured in the form of an in-game event in Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. Blaziken is a very popular Pokemon due to its hidden ability and amazing offenses, being able to set up very efficiently and wipe out teams. It's weak to 4 types, Flying, Ground, Psychic and Water, and its ability is the rather lackluster Blaze. However, if you happen to come across its hidden ability, which is the amazing Speed Boost, which as already mentioned can easily allow it to set up very efficiently, receiving a Speed Boost upon every turn, that would be the preferred option. Blaziken however is perhaps the worst choice when it comes to combating the gyms by itself, only featuring advantages against 2 gyms. That's only if you evolve it in time for the first gym. However, as you're most likely going to be building a team alongside Blaziken, this isn't too big of a deal, and it can still help in certain situations. It has a fantastic array of both physical and special offensive attacks in its arsenal, and you never have to worry about not being able to pack it with great attacks to take advantage of its offenses. You're very likely familiar with Blaziken's Mega Evolution, and thus needs no introduction. It receives a massive increase to its physical attack alongside with boosts to its speed and special attack, making it a fantastic Pokemon capable of saving your team in dire situations. It also receives the ability Speed Boost upon Mega Evolving, so if you don't have a Blaziken with its hidden ability, there's no need to worry. Overall, if you're just playing the in-game story, I honestly think your best bet is to pick one of the other 2 starter Pokemon, especially if you're interested in their Mega Evolutions, as we've already had a chance of using Blaziken, and it just doesn't square up to the gyms and Elite Four members as well as the other 2 starter Pokemon. However, competitively, if you're playing a metagame that even allows Blaziken to be used, it is an absolute monster, capable of ripping holes in teams, and I wouldn't discourage you from using it. I just think the freshness of the other 2 Mega Evolutions for starter Pokemon make them a more appealing choice in the main story. Finally, as a fan favourite, the Water and Ground type Swampert, the final evolution of Mudkip. Some interesting pieces of trivia: Swampert has the highest base total of all starter Pokemon, making it statistically the best starter Pokemon out there, as well as the starter Pokemon with the least amount of weaknesses. Only one, however, its one weakness is to a fellow starter Pokemon's type, Grass. Both its regular ability and its hidden ability, Torrent and Damp respectively, aren't really anything to shout about. In fact, they're both quite disappointing. But its focal point is its stats, boasting really impressive all-round stats, and makes for a really good bulky physical attacker capable of taking multiple hits. Its speed makes it a little harder to use in the main story, and there is a plethora of water-type Pokemon to use in Hoenn, as there is so much water compared to landmass, and it might be more suited to competitive battling. But before we write it off for the main story, let's discuss its strengths, as there is plenty more. Swampert boasts an amazing physically minded move pool, and it will likely get even better come Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire's release due to the potential return of move tutors. Swampert is also the perfect companion for the first half of the game against the gyms, with its defensive bulk and type advantages making it perfect for the first 4 gyms. Swampert's Mega Evolution gains the ability Swift Swim, doubling its speed in the rain, which is huge as its speed will likely also receive a boost, meaning there's potential of it being able to outspeed its biggest counter, Mega Sceptile, in the rain. On top of that, I also predict Mega Swampert will see a huge increase to its physical attack and defenses, making it an all-round fantastic Pokemon, especially in the rain, being able to sweep through teams and still be able to take hits. And has all the tools it needs in terms of moves too. It only has 1 weakness and is a very good Pokemon to switch in with having 4 resistances and 1 immunity. Despite its poor speed and lack of really being able to set up in the main story, I still think Swampert is the perfect companion for your adventure for Hoenn, and has its advantages in competitive play too. I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to use another water-type Pokemon from the region of Hoenn, as there are plenty, but Mudkip and Swampert are a fantastic companion. Overall, each starter Pokemon has its advantages and disadvantages. Each one is a fantastic Pokemon, and your choice simply depends on what other Pokemon you're going to use. There isn't a definitive Pokemon that's better or worse. Anyway, I really hope you've enjoyed this little comparison between the starter Pokemon and their respective Mega Evolutions. As always, 300 likes would be super appreciated on this video, and I'll try to upload another Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire video tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe so you don't miss any more of my future Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire videos, and I will see you guys hopefully later. Peace out! So a question that's going to come up a lot between now and the release of Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is which starter Pokemon should you choose upon release, and with the announcement of brand new Mega Evolutions, this makes the choice of starter Pokemon a lot more difficult this time round. Almost everyone has had an opportunity to use the Mega Evolution of Blaziken, most likely making it the least popular starter choice this time round, as a lot of people will want to use a Mega Evolution that wasn't used in Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. So, today, I'll be breaking down each final evolution of each starter Pokemon, along with their Mega Evolution forms, analysing what I predict their stats to be, and how useful they will be in the main story of the game against each gym, as well as the competitive battling side of things. In the comments below, let me know what starter Pokemon you are going to pick, as well as your favourite Mega Evolution form. Anyway, let's jump straight into this. We're going to begin with Sceptile, the final